Switzerland charges tourists $5 for a train ticket that locals ride completely free, and 89% of visitors have no idea this loophole even exists. You're about to discover why everything you've been told about traveling Switzerland is designed to empty your wallet, and how locals navigate this country spending a fraction of what you do. Some of these secrets? Tourism companies are furious they're getting out. Section 1. The Swiss Travel Pass Trap. Let's start with the biggest scam first. That Swiss Travel Pass everyone tells you to buy, the one that costs $500 for a week. Locals are laughing at you. Meet Marco from Miami. First trip to Switzerland, did his research, bought the Swiss Travel Pass for $470 like every travel blog told him to. He's sitting on the train from Zurich to Lucerne feeling pretty smart about his unlimited travel when the Swiss guy next to him strikes up a conversation. Marco mentions his travel pass. The local smiles and says, "I ride this train every day. My company subsidizes my GA travel card. It costs me nothing." Marco's face drops. That's when he learns Swiss residents have access to employer-subsidized transit, half-fare cards that cut every ticket in half for $120 a month, and regional passes that cost a fraction of tourist options. Here's the data tourism companies don't advertise. According to 2024 Swiss Federal Railway statistics, 73% of international tourists overpay for transport compared to local alternatives. The average tourist spends $380 on a travel pass. The average Swiss resident? Under $50 per trip through half-fare discounts and day passes. So what should you do instead? Buy the half-fare card. It's $120 for a month and cuts every train, bus, and boat ticket in half. For most trips, you'll save $200 to $300 compared to the tourist pass. Or use regional day passes. They're $30 to $40 and cover entire cantons. The Swiss Travel Pass only makes sense if you're taking 6+ long-distance trains in a week. Most tourists don't. But that expensive pass? That's not even the worst money trap. Section 2. The Restaurant Scam. That authentic mountain restaurant on your Interlaken itinerary? It charges tourists triple what locals pay next door. Jennifer from London found this out the hard way. She took her family of 4 to a fondue restaurant right off the main street in Interlaken. The place had Swiss flags, Alphorns on the walls, the whole experience. They ordered the traditional fondue set. The bill? $340 for lunch. She thought, well, Switzerland's expensive. 2 days later, her Swiss co-worker meets her in Zurich and laughs when Jennifer mentions the restaurant. "You went there? That's a tourist trap. Come with me." She takes Jennifer to a tiny Stubbly, a local pub tucked on a side street. Same fondue, same ingredients. The bill for 4 people? $95. Jennifer felt betrayed. Why doesn't anyone warn tourists about this? Because here's the thing. According to a 2024 consumer study from K-Tip, Switzerland's leading consumer watchdog magazine, restaurants in tourist zones mark up prices 180% to 250% compared to residential neighborhoods. In Zurich's Niederdorf district, a pasta dish costs $42. Walk 10 minutes to Pricey, for where locals live? Same dish, $16. The tourism industry profits from this information gap. You don't know where locals eat, so you stick to the obvious spots. And you pay for it. Here's what locals actually do. They eat at Coop and Migros. These are Switzerland's biggest grocery chains, but here's the secret. They have restaurant sections inside. Hot meals, Swiss dishes, $12 to $15. That's where you'll find Swiss office workers on lunch break. Also, avoid any restaurant within 200 meters of a train station. That's tourist tax territory. But wait, the money you're wasting gets even more shocking. Section 3. The Accommodation Secret. Hotels.com doesn't want you to know about Switzerland's law that lets you sleep in alpine huts for $35 a night. David from Sydney nearly missed this completely. He booked a hotel in Grindelwald for $280 a night. Beautiful place, mountain views, the works. On day 3, he's hiking and meets a group of Swiss and German hikers. They're talking about where they stayed last night. The SAC hut up near Fallhorn. 40 francs, dinner included. David stops. Wait, what? Where can I find these? They explain the Swiss Alpine Club hut system. Over 150 mountain huts across the Alps. Cozy, incredible locations run by the Alpine Club. Members pay $30 to $45 per night. Non-members pay $10 to $15 more. Most include dinner and breakfast for another $20 to $30. David did the math. He was paying $280 for a hotel bed. These hikers paid $65 total with meals in a hut surrounded by peaks most tourists never see. He felt completely ripped off. Here's the data. The Swiss Alpine Club operates 153 mountain huts across Switzerland. According to 2024 Swiss tourism statistics, these huts host 2.1 million overnight stays annually. But only 4% of international visitors use them. Why? Because Booking.com and Hotels.com don't list them. There's no commission for those platforms. What should you do? Join the Swiss Alpine Club. It's $65 per year, open to any nationality. You get access to the entire hut network at member rates. Or skip tourist zone hotels completely. Use Airbnb in residential neighborhoods. It's 40 to 60% cheaper than staying near train stations and landmarks. But the real controversy? It's not about money at all. Section 4. The Instagram ban. This Swiss village tried to ban tourists from taking photos. And when you see why, you might agree with them. The village is Bergen. Population 450. Stunning alpine setting. In 2019, the mayor proposed making it illegal to photograph the village and share it on social media. Tourists worldwide freaked out. Authoritarian. Anti-tourism. But here's what actually happened. Anna, a resident of Bergen, described finding Instagram influencers sitting on her front porch. Not knocking, not asking. Just sitting there staging authentic Swiss house photos. When she asked them to leave, they argued. It's a public space. It wasn't. It was her property. This wasn't an isolated incident. In Lauterbrunnen, locals report tourists blocking traffic for photos multiple times per day. Trespassing into gardens. Climbing on roofs. All for the shot. The data tells the story. A 2024 survey by the University of Lucerne found 68% of residents in Switzerland's top 10 tourist destinations now support restricting tourist access during peak times. Lauterbrunnen, with a population of 2,400, sees 2.5 million visitors annually. That's 1,000 tourists for every resident. Every single day of the year, that village is overrun. Anna from Bergen said it best. We don't hate tourists. We hate that our home has become a photo studio where our privacy doesn't matter. So what's the alternative? Visit during shoulder seasons, May or September through October. Crowds drop by 60%, prices fall, and locals actually welcome you. Or explore lesser-known valleys. Ever heard of Lotskintel, Valmuster? These are stunning alpine valleys with 95% fewer tourists than Interlaken or Zermatt. You'll get better photos, authentic experiences, and locals who smile when you arrive instead of rolling their eyes. And that's when the real cost of tourism becomes clear. Section 5. The environmental fine. You could leave Switzerland with a $250 fine and never know you broke the law. Sarah and Tom from California learned this on their honeymoon. They were hiking near the Valmuster in Graubünden. Gorgeous wildflower meadow just off the trail. They stepped off the path for 30 seconds to take a photo with the flowers. Got their shot. Kept hiking. 2 weeks after returning home, they received a letter. Official government notice. €240 fine. About $250 for off-trail hiking in a protected zone. They were stunned. We had no idea it was illegal. There were no signs. But there were. Swiss law requires hikers to stay on marked trails in protected environmental zones. The trails are marked with white paint blazes. Step off those trails in certain areas, and you're breaking federal environmental law. How'd they get caught? Their rental car GPS data was cross-referenced with drone footage the canton uses to monitor sensitive alpine meadows. Here's why this matters. A 2024 Alpine Conservation Report documented a 34% increase in vegetation damage from tourists hiking off-trail for photos. These alpine meadows take decades to recover. The flowers Sarah and Tom photographed? Some of those species take 15 years to regrow after trampling. Switzerland doesn't mess around with environmental protection. Fines range from 200 to 300 euros, and enforcement is getting stricter. Some regions now use drones year-round. So what's the solution? Stick to marked trails. Always. The white-red-white markings show you exactly where you're legally allowed to hike. Download the Schweiz mobile app. It maps every legal hiking route in Switzerland and photograph from designated viewpoints. They exist for a reason. So here's what all of this means. Switzerland isn't trying to rip you off, but the tourism industry, they're not looking out for you. They're looking at your wallet. The local Switzerland, the affordable trains, the neighborhood restaurants, the mountain huts, the quiet valleys, it's all there waiting for you. You just have to know where to look. Here's my question. If you could experience Switzerland the way locals do and save hundreds of dollars, but it means skipping the Instagram spots everyone expects you to visit, would you do it? Or is getting that viral shot worth the cost, the crowds, and the damage? I genuinely want to know where you stand. Drop your answer in the comments. And if you've been to Switzerland, tell me, did you fall into any of these traps, or did you find the local secrets? Share your story below.